Well, the field has just started to move onto the track for a warm-up lap. There has been such a huge turnout for this event that we've kind of slowed down the start of the race. Sears Point Raceway, as we said, 2.5 miles in length, will go 74 laps. The pole speed was 91.514 miles an hour. The record for this race is 81.4 miles an hour. They'll stop somewhere between 30 and 35 laps, and the purse, they're going for almost $900,000. Now let's take a look at our starting lineup for today's race. The Busch pole winner, his third pole in the last 4 races, is Ernie Irvan in the Texaco Haviland Ford, qualifying at 91.514, not a new record. On the outside of row number 1 will be Mark Martin of the Valvoline Ford Thunderbird, his third front row start. No pole positions, however, this year. Ricky Rudd goes third in the Tide Ford Thunderbird, his 6th straight top 5 start at Sears Point. And alongside him will be Dale Earnhardt in the GM Goodwrench Chevrolet Lumina number 3. Terry Labonte will start in position number 5 in the Kellogg Chevrolet Lumina. And alongside him will be Jeff Gordon in car 24, the DuPont Chevrolet. Wally Dallenbach goes from the 7th starting position. His career best finish occurred at Watkins Glen last year, a 2nd, and as Jerry Punch indicated, a threat to win here this afternoon. Ken Schradel will start in 8th position in the Kodiak Chevy number 25. Michael Waltrip starts in 9th position in car number 30, the Pennzoil Pontiac, and then Kyle Petty in the Mellow Yellow Pontiac, car number 42. Bill Elliott has the 11th starting position in the Budweiser Ford alongside Rusty Wallace in the Miller Genuine Draft Ford, car number 2. Sterling Marlin, Daytona 500 winner, has the Kodak Film Chevrolet in the 13th starting position, and then the best of the Winston West competitors, Butch Gilliland in car number 36. Ted Musgrave will start in row number 8, car number 16, and then Harry Gant in car number 33. Gant, 31 career road course starts, 3 top 5s and 9 top 10s. His final performance here at Sears Point. Derek Cope starts in the 17th position in the Fingerhut Ford, car number 98, and another Winston West competitor, Ron Hornaday Jr. in car 76. Morgan Shepherd and Dale Jarrett have the 10th row starting spots. Jeff Burton and Bobby Labonte will go from row number 11. In the 12th row, it'll be Brett Bodine alongside Rick Mast. Jimmy Spencer starts in the 25th position, and then yesterday's fastest qualifier, Jeff Bodine. Jeff Bodine, 5 career races at Sears Point, and he is the defending champion of this event. As you take a look at the rest of the starting lineup, you can see that the cars are proceeding down through the S's here, and we should be getting a start before too long. It's a very cloudy and cool day here. It rained overnight, and there was some thought that perhaps it was going to rain here for race time. However, skies are beginning to brighten up just a little, and that has brought a huge crowd to Sears Point Raceway for this NASCAR Winston Cup race. And Benny, they're down around turn 11.
Yeah, coming right toward me, weaving back and forth, getting the tires ready, getting all the debris cleaned off the tires, so when they accelerate the next time by, not this time, the next time by, they'll be able to get a grip. That's the problem these guys have been having all along at the race this weekend. Getting the grip off the corner. Every time they accelerate off 11, 7, these tight corners, they're losing the back end.
Well, several drivers didn't make it, and because this is wine country, we'll say that they're crushing grapes for this afternoon. There is the long list, including Loy Allen, Dick Trickle, and Jimmy Hensley among the regular NASCAR Winston Cup stars, and then 9 Winston West competitors fail to make the field for today's race. They have one more lap to go before we get the green. We'll show you our in-car cameras when we return to Sears Point Raceway in Sonoma, California. Stay with us. The Save Mart Supermarkets 300 NASCAR Winston Cup race about to get underway from Sears Point Raceway in Sonoma, California. Our in-car cameras, Rusty Wallace, 5 wins, 1 pole. Looking for a good finish here today to move him up in the point standings. Here's the Armor All in-car camera being carried by Terry Labonte, one of the top road racers in the series. Mark Martin will also have his roof cam. Yes, the same one that showed us a great picture of his crash. Fortunately, Mark got out of there without serious injuries. Ricky Rudd will also have an in-car camera, and this one will show you the footwork as he accelerates and brakes, and we also have 3 other angles inside the Tide machine. Bill Elliott crowd pleaser not only in the Southwest or Southeast, but out here on the West Coast also. He'll have an in-car camera. And finally, the 98 car, a local favorite, Derek Cope, and the Finger Hut machine will be carrying an in-car camera starting in 17th position. The car still on their warm-up lap, but next time around they will be getting the green flag and the start of our event. 74 laps here, amounting to 186.4 miles. Ned, what do you think here just before the start?
Well, I think it's going to be exciting, Bobby. We see the cars going through the S's now, down through turn 7, 8, and 9, and headed down towards Benny Parsons. And this is one of the fastest parts of the racetrack. And as they head right in towards Benny there, they really have to do some braking coming in there, Benny.
All the brakes they can stand. I was watching the cars this morning, looking at the cars as I walked through the garage area. All these cars got about 3 hoses running to the brakes in the front, trying to keep them cool because they're going to be using lots of brakes today.
Well, settle back and enjoy an afternoon of road course racing here on ESPN as the NASCAR Winston Cup stars challenge each other in the Save Mart Supermarkets 300. The pace car accelerates and heads down the drag strip as Ernie Irvan leads the field off of corner number 12. And the green flag is out. Here we go.
As they come out of turn 6. Everybody pretty well got into single file as they headed into this turn. They really have to slow down coming in here. Morgan Shepherd is one driver that's on the outside, and Dale Jarrett trying to make a pass coming through this turn. So we have several of them side by side as they head through the S's here. Turn 7, 8, and 9, and 10. Then they'll head down into Benny Parsons area at turn 11.
Here comes Ernie. I see him now. Got about a 5, 6, 10 car length advantage on Mark Martin as they brake hard into turn 11. And there we see Michael Waltrip on the inside of Schrader trying to outbrake him, take the spot away. Kyle Petty obviously will try to follow.
Schrader and Waltrip come side by side into turn number 12 and across the line. It's Schrader not willing to relinquish that position to Michael Waltrip, and it looks like that everybody, as far as we know, has made it through corner and lap number 1, and the good battle is for second position on back as Ernie Irvan stretches out his advantage a little bit on everybody else. There's Mark Martin running second, and Ricky Rudd just right there in third position behind Martin.
See Earnhardt getting by Rudd as they go through turn 4. This is turn 5, a pretty swift right-hander up the hill to turn 6 called the carousel here at Sears Point.
And coming out of turn 6, then they'll hit on this short straightaway. It's short, but they get a pretty good speed coming up through here. In fact, to get into 4th gear. Ernie Irvan now heading in this direction. Built himself up about a 20 car length lead now as he comes in here. Mark Martin still second. Dale Earnhardt third. Ricky Rudd fourth. Rudd blocks the right front brake coming in here. Terry Labonte is 5th. Wally Dallenbach 6th. Jeff Gordon in 7th. Everybody getting through here pretty smoothly. No side-by-side racing this time through turn 7. They've all singled out. As they head through those S's, you don't want to be side-by-side when you go through those S's.
Well, just an indication of how little it takes to lose a position. Rudd got just a little out of shape up on the top of the hill, and that was all it took for Dale Earnhardt to grab third position. And now a change there by you, Benny.
Yes. Wally Dallenbach got inside Terry Labonte, was able to outbrake him coming in turn 11, take the spot away. I tell you what, Dallenbach has high hopes today. I talked to his wife, Robin, just before the race, and she was nervous.
Well, as Dr. Punch indicated, this team needs a good finish. Wally was running so strong at Talladega, you'll recall, before being caught up in an accident. And this is really where he learned to drive race cars, in the Trans Am Series on a road course. And so he is right at home today at this facility. There's the number 20 car driven by Gary Collins. It's dragging something there in front of you, Benny.
Looks like he's dragging, that's the rear panhard bar he's dragging, or rear sway bar. He's broken that. He crashed yesterday afternoon, was not able to get back on the racetrack. And by the way, he's in the pits, folks. He's in the middle of turn 11. They've set up 10 pits over there, and that's where he's located.
He was second in Winston West points going in, 5 behind John Krebs, the leader. Ned?
Well, the leader continues to build a little momentum, Bob, as Dale Earnhardt now really working on Mark Martin off of turn 7 here. He couldn't make the pass. He thought he had him there for a moment, but couldn't quite get around. Bill Elliott and Sterling Marlin running side by side back here, but Marlin gets the best of that battle as they head down through the S's in single file. Earnhardt still working on Mark Martin. Martin pulls away by about 2 or 3 car lengths there, but I'm sure when he gets to Benny Parsons, he's going to have ideas of trying to outbrake Martin going into turn 11.
And we'll have to watch that and just see what kind of. He pulls down to the inside, but can he do it? He cannot do it. Here comes Dallenbach trying to get, oh! Rudd came down, blocked the spot. Dallenbach almost lost control. I tell you what, and Dallenbach, a lot of the competitors were talking about just how smooth he is around this road course.
Well, he qualified 7th, which was very, very good, no question about it.
And we got a spin. Dale Jarrett is going right in front of me. He's trying to get his car going. He does. No contact other than, I really couldn't tell, man, if it was contact from starting the spin or just lost it coming in the corner.
That's hard to say. What it's hard to say about Dallenbach. He thought he had a car maybe that was capable of sitting on the pole. He had turned some awfully good laps in practice prior to qualifying here, and still wound up 7th, but thought he should have done a little bit better. So he does have a fast race car and certainly has the experience here.
Here's 3 cars in a tussle for position. That's Cope, Bill Elliott, and Morgan Shepherd, as Shepherd tries to go to the inside of Elliott. Ted Musgrave is also right there in this battle, which involves about 5 or 6 cars.
And that's not one of the better places on the racetrack to try to pass, but Morgan Shepherd's going to try to take advantage of any place, but he couldn't do it right there.
Let's take a look again at what happened to Dale Jarrett up there in front of you, Benny.
Well, there we see he comes in the corner, and I can't really tell if there was contact between he and Brett Bodine or not.
Benny, I think what happened, some cars got tangled up in front of him there for a little bit and slowed down considerably, and he was already started towards the apex of the turn, had his brakes on, and thinking he was going to hit them, he spun to keep from doing that.
And Elliott locked up the right front there going into your corner, Ned. Still, however, he maintains that position over Morgan Shepherd, and that's back in about 12th position. This is the bumper cam on Bill Elliott's car, looking back on Morgan Shepherd. Now closing right in as they go into the corner there in front of Benny.
Oh, almost has some contact. Meanwhile, Ron Hornaday in that blue and white 76 car up fighting it out with these guys.
And he's another good road racer too, Ron Hornaday.
It's Bill Elliott running back in about 13th position. Ernie Irvan is the leader of the race. As we have completed 4 circuits, there's the lead that Ernie Irvan has, and he just continues to stretch it out over 2nd place, Mark Martin. Back with more live coverage of the Save Mart Supermarkets 300 from Sears Point after this. ESPN Speed World welcoming you back to Sonoma, California at Sears Point Raceway, the Save Mart Supermarkets 300. There is the leader, Ernie Irvan. He was a pole sitter, grabbed the lead at the drop of the green flag, and has held it ever since. However, we do have a new 2nd place contender. That's Dale Earnhardt. Then comes Mark Martin. And also moving up is Wally Dallenbach, who is up to 4th position already. A good run here in the early going for Wally.
Passed it come down in turn 11, just like we had seen him try to do a couple of times. Was able to outbrake Rudd. And see Ricky Rudd inside, 2nd gear. Back on the accelerator, comes off the corner. And quickly, while he was going straight, was shifted to 3rd. Now he's got his hands full, back and forth through the S's.
Rusty Wallace, Kyle Petty, Ken Schrader, Michael Waltrip, and Sterling Marlin are all running nose to tail out there. And
Bob,
this is 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th, Ned.
And Bob, we were right in behind that group was Bill Elliott, Morgan Shepherd. We were watching them a little bit earlier. Finally, Morgan out braking. Elliott coming into turn 7, got around him that last time around.
Now Marlin takes a look to the inside of Waltrip.
And Michael wisely comes up the hill, gives Sterling room, and Sterling will accelerate off the corner. And we see losing the back end as he tries to nail that throttle. And Michael comes back on him when Sterling lost that back end. Michael's able to get back by him.
Now Derek Cope, we ride with him, following Sterling Marlin up the hill into corner number 2.
Has some damage to the nose of that car. He ran the back of somebody someplace. Meanwhile, Ernie is just pulling away from Dale, isn't he, Ned?
Yes, he is. He's already through 7 as Earnhardt enters it. Now, a good battle for 3rd place as Wally Dallenbach gets on the bumper of Mark Martin. Of course, Ricky Rudd's still there, too, but no pass this time around.
Here's an APA field summary for you as we watch and see whether or not Wally Dallenbach can pick up another position. Looks like his next opportunity probably, Benny, is going to be there in turn number 11. He's coming up through the S's now, 8, 9, and 10 on the straightaway now headed toward you. Is he going to be able to outbrake?
I don't know. He's trying to take a look. He came down, he tried it, but Martin was able to get in the corner just as hard as Dallenbach. Now Dallenbach is going to try to accelerate off the corner, not able to make that move either.
Those two cars locked together in the best battle on the racetrack for 3rd spot.
Won't have much of an opportunity through these tight turns, Bob. Martin would really have to goof up for Wallet to get by on one of these turns, but I'm sure he'll have ideas when he gets here to turn 7.
These two drivers were teammates last year. Wally making the move over to Richard Petty Racing during the winter months. Inside with Ricky Rudd as he saws the wheel and negotiates the corners here at Sears Point.
We can see the accelerator. The shifter is in 3rd gear, and I guess he will accelerate to 4th gear up this hill towards you, Ned.
Yes, he does for just a moment. Then he starts shifting again, shifts down and back into 2nd as Dallenbach tried to get in on Martin. Couldn't do much with him that time as you watch the footwork of Ricky Rudd. That guy is smooth.
Use the accelerator and the brakes as he goes through the S's. 4th gear. That's turn 10 he's slowing down for. Now he accelerates. Oh, baby, all the brakes. Oh, get this thing slowed down. I'm going to turn 11. Oh, I made it.
That is just a ballet. It really is. To see him hit the brakes, or pump the brakes, hit them hard with his right foot, and then when he gets the car slow to a point, he switches back and hits the accelerator with the right foot and moves the left foot over to the brake.
There he used all 3 pedals for 2 feet.
This is amazing, isn't it?
Now watch the steering column there at the upper part of your screen. You can tell which direction the car is turning. See, now he's going to the right. Straightening out. Hitting the brakes hard again up there around turn number 4.
And folks, when that steering shaft goes back and forth, right and left quickly, he's in trouble.
Think these guys don't work? Especially on the road course.
And this road course, they're very, very busy around here. He's going to shift into 4th gear. There's 4th. Now he's heading for net, and right now he's got to start back downshifting again.
Come down into 2nd gear, still staying right on the bumper of Dallenbach. Dallenbach still on the bumper of Mark Martin, so they're pretty well stabilized here. Terry Labonte got a little wide coming off of that turn, but he picks it back up. Jeff Gordon, you see on the top of your screen there behind the 5 car. Terry Labonte.
Then there's a little bit of interval back to this group of cars led by Rusty Wallace, including Kyle Petty and Schrader and Waltrip, Marlin, Cope. Jeff Bodine appears to be the car on the move as he has come up nicely from his 26th starting position.
Yes, he is on the move. I noticed the last time by, he's right behind Derek Cope trying to take this one away. He's trying to pass. Come on, Jeff. You know better than that. See?
That was a brave move.
It was. Tried to pass Cope on the outside.
There you see this serial scoring on Jeff Bodine from 26th to 15th. Here's John Kernan.
Well, Bob, Paul Andrews, Danny Gladden, the crew are really excited to get that car out here to Sears Point to see exactly how it is going to run. They finished that car up on Friday afternoon, just before they loaded it up on the carrier to haul it out to California. I asked him, because their shop is right next to Charlotte Motor Speedway, if they were able to take advantage of what Benny talked about at the beginning of the show. He said, well, yeah, we did kind of shake the car down around the Charlotte Speedway, but it was outside in the parking lot.
That's right. NASCAR determined that that would count as an official test day if they went over there. So the teams ran the road course. 6 teams ran the road course on Monday morning, and that night they ran the oval track, so they were able to get 2 days into one. Jeff Bodine didn't want to use that day. He used the parking lot, just like John Kernan said.
Here he comes, trying on the outside as the 98 car of Derek Cope goes on the inside of Michael Waltrip. So Jeff Bodine tries to make the same move coming off of that turn, but he can't quite do it.
I think the 7th behind. There he is. He's right behind Michael Waltrip. He'll be trying to outbrake him when they come down towards turn 11.
Jeff got the left side wheels off the track just a little bit into the grass there.
Here they come. Derek Cope moves over, and Jeff Bodine pulls to the inside, trying to outbrake Michael. He does it, takes the spot away.
Picture perfect move. Now Waltrip will try to come back on the inside, but it looks like that Jeff has the momentum and is going to maintain the spot. So it remains the same up front. Ernie Irvan leading the Save Mart Supermarket 300. Dale Earnhardt is running in second position. There's Ernie with a rather comfortable lead at the moment. Mark Martin, Wally Dallenbach, and the number 10 car of Ricky Rudd in the top 5. Welcome back to ESPN's coverage of the Save Mart Supermarkets 300, the 10th race in the NASCAR Winston Cup Series for 1994. There is our leader, Ernie Irvan, who's led all the way so far, making his way around corner number 7. Running in second position is Dale Earnhardt, but there is a couple of seconds interval between, in fact, 6.2 second interval between Irvan and Dale Earnhardt. Then back in third position as they make their way through the S's is Mark Martin, Wally Dallenbach next, then Ricky Rudd, Terry Labonte, and Jeff Gordon.
Now there's a name you've never heard associated with road racing, Jeff Gordon. Or Kyle Petty, as a matter of fact.
Uh-oh. We've got Lake Speed into the tire barrier. Looks like he's going to be able to drive the car, though.
The tire's outrunning him. There he goes.
Well, we'll see if this is going to necessitate an overall caution. It, of course, involves a caution at that particular localized area of the racetrack, but if it's a serious accident, they would go overall yellow. I don't believe they're going to, but boy, Lake has really made hard contact with the right side of that car in real bad shape.
Yes, and the back bumper, of course, coming off of it. Let's see if we can see what happened. He gets the right wheels off on the grass as he goes into the turn, and that's where all the damage is done, Bob, as he hits that tire barrier hard with the right side of the car. Spins on around. You can see the tires rolling everywhere. He's off the racetrack. That one tire looked like it was headed out on the racetrack, but apparently didn't get there as Lake tries to make his way back to the pits.
Doesn't take much to get these cars upside down when they hit at that velocity.
Caution flag is out. Caution is out.
Yes, it is. The overall caution is out for the first time. They're going to have to clean up the racetrack there in that area of the track where Lake Speed made heavy contact with the tire barriers as Lake has made it to the pit entrance. Back with more right after this. A full course caution is over the Sears Point Raceway because of an accident involving Lake Speed. He was able to make it back to the pit area, so he is okay. But the cars are beginning to line up now behind the pace car. Here is what happened to Lake Speed. Just got the right side tires off, and it's a skating rink at that point.
Yeah, he doesn't have much traction once he hits that grass, and he had a lot of momentum going in there, Bob, and hits those tires with the right side of the car, and it spins it around and does a lot of sheet metal damage. He was able to drive it away and back to the pits.
Well, a couple of weeks ago at Talladega, we had what appeared to be a very, very serious crash involving Mark Martin. Benny Parsons analyzes that crash in detail.
From our camera on top of Mark Martin's car, let's watch as this crash develops. Jeff Gordon goes on the inside to make it 3 abreast, and contact between Sachs and Todd Bodine. Jeff Burton, the 8 car, comes down, hits Mark Martin in the right front, and blows the brake caliper. Mark Martin has no brakes, through the guardrails, and finally stops against this metal barrier. Let's take a little closer look in slow motion from on top of Mark Martin's car. He's going to hit the 8 car, the blue and white car on his right, as Gordon goes down, makes it 3 abreast. Sachs comes up, slight contact between Sachs and the 75 right there. Now, meanwhile, Mark Martin, through his windshield, still is not aware of just how serious the problem is. But soon, it's going to become all too clear when the racetrack is blocked and his windshield is covered. He makes contact with the 8 car, blows the brake caliper on the right front. Now he's riding whichever way the wheels take him. He gets hit by the 75 and turns him straight for the infield with no brakes. Fortunately, hits the concrete wall and turns him a little bit to the right through that guardrail. And our operator cleared our lens so we can see it clearly as he bang hits that flashed metal barrier and finally stops the car.
Just a dramatic series of shots there. The good news is Mark Martin not seriously injured. Well, the cars have made it to the pit area. Long line comes in. Here's John Kernan.
9 in for a 4-tire change, 2 rounds of wedge in the left rear. The car was loose in the right-hand turns. They're contemplating only 2 tires, but now they're doing all 4s that come to the left side. Let's go down to Jerry Punch.
Both Ernie Irvin and Mark Martin will get all 4 tires. No adjustment on Ernie Irvin's car. They made an air pressure adjustment on Mark Martin. They went up on the front tires and down on the rear tires, the air pressure. Left side tires on Ernie Irvin's car. Left side on Martin. Martin is out of the way. Here is Earnhardt. He will be the first one off pit road. And then Martin, and then Irvin.
Earnhardt out first as everybody else now comes out in single file formation. Dale Earnhardt is going to pick up 1 position because of the pit stops. We are under a full course caution because of an accident involving Lake Speed. Pit stops have been made. We'll take a break and be right back in just a moment. The lights atop the pace car are out, meaning that when they come down through the turn 11 area, they will be getting the green flag for the resumption of this race. Now, a couple of cars did not make pit stops, namely the number 9 car driven by John Krebs, who has only 1 win in 138 Winston West starts. And the 71 car of Dave Marcus did also not make a pit stop. So those 2 are the leaders of the race. And then Dale Earnhardt, who was the first off pit road, will be shown in 3rd spot as we go back to racing.
See, Marcus thought he would stay out there and lead a lap because he needs those 5 extra points to keep him back around the 25th, 30th spot in the points for those provisionals. And John Krebs messed him up and didn't pit.
Of course, the points wouldn't mean that much to John Krebs since he's not running the Winston Cup Series. But he has a plan, I'm sure.
Yeah, he does need some Winston West points.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
Good point.
All right, pace car accelerating as Krebs leads him down slowly. Earnhardt sees the green flag, and he is passing Marcus and Krebs before they get to turn 1, and so does Ernie Irvin.
Of course, those new tires are going to help them and will hurt Krebs and Dave Marcus. Since they didn't put on any tires, they didn't even make pit stop.
Riding with Ricky Rudd as he goes up to 3rd gear behind Mark Martin up the hill. Marcus staying high on the racetrack as just about everybody goes by him. with the fresher tires on. Now it's going to be interesting to see what Ernie does with Dale.
Sure is. Tell you what, he's closed up on the back bumper, that Goodwrench Chevrolet. I tell you what, if he can pass Earnhardt before they get back to the start-finish line, that means Earnhardt still hasn't led a lap. Is that?
I don't know what. No, I don't think he would have led that previous lap, although he was very close to having his nose ahead.
Well, here comes Ernie on the outside, Bob, coming into 7. I don't think he's going to be able to pull it off this time. Nope. He made a gallant effort, but he couldn't quite do it.
And probably, of course, will not be able to do so up through the S's here. But again, the next opportunity that Ernie will have is down in turn number 11. We're watching Mark Martin now and Ricky Rudd. Here's Jeff Bodine trying to get around Dave Marcus, and Sterling Marlin also coming with him as they head down the hill.
And Earnhardt, Ernie's trying it on the outside. He's not able to make it. Man's going to try it on the inside. He wants to beat Earnhardt back to that line so badly. Not able to do it. Earnhardt will get 5 bonus points.
Yes, he does. Earnhardt leads the lap. But Irvin is just all over him. Here's Wally Dallenbach going to the inside of the 9-car John Krebs.
That's the channel lock car. I think the deal that Gary Bechtel made, he's going to put channel lock on the car, and they're going to be an associate sponsor on his Winston Cup car.
That's what Gary Bechtel bought Steve Grissom's Busch team, and Steve will drive in selected races, and Channel Lock will continue to be the sponsor on that effort. Well, we'll see if Ernie makes a bid again, which I suspect he will as he comes into turn 7. Earnhardt comes in there hard, makes the break. Here comes Ernie up on the outside. Can you imagine trying to pass Dale Earnhardt on the outside? Ain't gonna work, I don't think. Well, he's still out there. Earnhardt takes up the track, though, and Ernie gets a little bit loose coming off the turn. Still doesn't make the pass.
He was trying to get by, wasn't he, Ned?
Yes, he was. He tried everything he knew.
Both Earnhardt and Ernie Irvin go up on the rumble strips on the right sides of their cars.
Ernie's trying to convince that Larry McReynolds, Robin Gates, and the crew, he's a road racer. He's like, I'm tricked right now. I got to keep him believing I'm a road racer.
Well, Dale Earnhardt has the best overall finishing average when you consider all the road course races. However, he has never won on a road course. Napa Field summary showing you where your favorite driver was running last time around. Now we're going to follow the Rusty Wallace-led group, which also includes Jeff Gordon and Terry Labonte.
As we're watching this, Butch Gilliland, the Winston West driver that was the top qualifier, makes some unscheduled pit stop.
And for the late speed fans, he's back out on the racetrack, running slower, but at least he has the quality care car back out there.
Saw some smoke off the right front of Jeff Gordon's car. I guess that was the brakes as he went in that corner and hit the brakes.
Here comes Earnhardt and Irvin off of turn 6, headed towards turn 7. Irvin is going to try it again on the outside. He drives her in hard this time on the outside. Earnhardt locks the brakes on the inside. Here they are, side by side, coming off the turn. Irvin on the outside, Earnhardt on the inside. They touch coming off the turn. They head into the S's side by side, and Irvin makes the pass.
Wow.
Now, Earnhardt could have taken Irvin to the grass there.
Yes, he could.
Very easily, but he didn't.
Is that strong or what? Irvin on the outside. Maybe Larry's right. Maybe he is a road racer.
Yeah, he's a road racer, and you give him that race car, he's a real good road racer.
Very impressive move by Ernie Irvin to take the lead. Wally Dallenbach, meanwhile, is looking for the opportunity to get around Rudd and Martin. Dallenbach continuing to run in 5th position in the STP Pontiac. Oh, look at this mess.
No, and it's a mess, all right. As Kyle Petty pulls away, we've got Bodine and Schrader side by side right behind John Krebs.
What are they going to do with Krebs here?
I don't know.
The 22 car of Bobby Labonte spins, but gets going again.
No damage down here. There he goes, right in front of Greg Sachs.
Labonte has several members of the San Francisco 49ers football team on hand to witness his performance. Let's take a look at what happened up there in turn number 11 in front of you, Benny.
Well, just comes in the corner, hits the brakes a little too hard, and around he goes. Unfortunately, look at that mess of cars behind him. They all missed him.
So Terry Labonte is,
Whoa!
oh, and Derek Cope has gone up over the tire barrier, up over a bank, and the Fingerhut Ford.
Oh my goodness.
That is a wild ride. Full course caution is out once again.
Cope's okay, he's moving around.
He is moving around. In fact, he is trying to get the car started.
No, he's trying to get the steering wheel off so he can get out.
Yeah, and he's talking on the radio also. Boy, that is good news, because obviously he took a wild ride, and it appears as if he almost went in to a spectator area. That's a very large dirt embankment that separates the track and the spectators. And Derek, let's see what happens.
Well, it was side by side with
John Krebs.
Oh, John Krebs goes, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Out through there in front of Derek Cope.
And the car overturned several times. So our concern isn't about Derek Cope. He's okay. Our concern is John Krebs. And he did not come close to a spectator area. They were well separated from the area that Krebs landed in. There you can see Cope. He is out of the car and walking away.
Now, Bob, you see that guy says Skull Racing on it? That's a spotter.
Yep.
These teams have spotters scattered all around the road course today to try to warn their drivers about trouble. So he rushed down to see if Derek Cope was okay.
In fact, Benny, one of Derek Cope's spotters is up here in my position. He tapped me on the shoulders and gave me the okay signal as soon as the wreck happened.
And we understand that Krebs has been on the radio to his crew. He appears to be okay. But man, there is the car there from Derek Cope's in-car. You can see Krebs' machine several feet away.
That's unbelievable.
It really is.
Wow.
That was two wild rides.
Oof.
Especially by John Krebs.
John Krebs, yeah, the car just got launched when it went over that dirt embankment and turned over a couple of times. It came to rest on its wheels. And there's Derek Cope once again. He's got the helmet off. Here it is again from Derek's in-car camera.
There we see Jeff Bodine is able to get alongside Krebs. This is going down towards turn 4. Now, Cope is going to try to make the pass as well, but I think Krebs doesn't realize he's there. They make contact, and which turns both cars straight. Man, oh man, what's that car flipping?
Yeah, it flipped high into the air, rolled over in the air, and then when it landed, it was on its wheels. Just an unbelievable crash. Derek Cope, you'll recall, registered his first Busch Grand National win at New Hampshire. Here's a real time of the incident once again. We don't have sound, but just watch the pictures.
Man, oh man.
That was something.
Like I said, folks, there's trouble everywhere around this course.
Well, we'll take a breather here, take a break. And it appears as if, however, everybody's okay. We've seen Derek Cope and John Krebs called in on the radio saying that he was okay after a wild ride here at Sears Point. A huge crash here at Sears Point, but there is John Krebs, and boy, are we glad to see him up walking around after an unbelievable incident that also involved Derek Cope. Let's take a look at it again.
We see him get in the grass, and both cars go straight ahead through the tire barrier, and Krebs' car in for in. Finally does come to rest on its wheels.
Here's the in-car once again. Looks like the Cope just tried to get to the inside of Krebs.
And they made contact, which turned both cars straight ahead. You know, and all the brakes in the world are not going to stop the car that way.
Or roof flaps are not going to keep it on the ground.
No. Looks
Jerry
like we're
Punch.
going backwards.
Yeah, right. Here's Jerry.
Guys, John Krebs is the current Winston West or Winston Transcontinental point leader, having finished second in both their events out here on the West Coast this year. I spoke with him just before the start of the race, and he was telling me, he said, hey, Doc, I came here today on a helicopter because traffic was backed up with all the fans trying to get in here. He said, I came here on a helicopter. I hope that's the last time I get airborne today. And obviously it wasn't. We are under caution here at Sears Point Raceway to Save Mart Supermarkets 300. Back with more from California after this.
They cross the line, the green comes out, and you rejoin us after a full course caution. Ernie Irvin leads them up the hill with Earnhardt, Martin, Rudd, Dallenbach, and Rusty Wallace following.
Pretty well single file for this area, Bob. And we're coming close to the area where we saw that wreck just a moment ago between Derek Cope and John Krebs. Those cars well out of harm's way. Ernie Irvin just goes by them now. The rest of the cars going single file through that area.
Yeah, they're going to leave the wreck cars out of there. As you indicated, they're well off of the race course. Their momentum carried them over that dirt bank. So they're just going to leave them there.
And here is Jeff Bodine trying to pass Ken Schrader on the outside coming into this turn, and he doesn't. He just simply outbraked him coming in there, and we saw Schrader yesterday in the Southwest Tour race just beating everybody around this corner, but today he got passed going in there.
So Jeff Bodine, despite his qualifying problems on Friday, got the problem corrected and was fast qualifier in second day, and now is performing exceptionally well here in the race.
All these guys come charging down. Oh, and Martin and Ricky Rudd make some contact. Martin is backing down the racetrack. So far, no one has hit him.
There it is from the in-car as he lets the others go by. He still has not got the car headed in the right direction. He's just losing a ton of positions. Oh, Martin, Dave Marcus had to go way wide of him to avoid hitting. He did. Now Mark is back underway.
And you see the 30 car of Michael Walter way back there. He was running up there in the top 15 or so. He made a pit stop, I guess, in this last caution flag, so he's way back in the back.
Yeah, there were 6 cars that made a pit stop, including Bobby Labonte and Michael Waltrip. Also Joe Nemechek, Ron Hornaday, Greg Sachs, and Lake Speed all made pit stops. Now we see Wally Dallenbach coming up on Kyle Petty.
And Mark Martin's right rear tire was, the fenders knocked in on the tire. He'll have to come to pit road, I'm sure.
Here's this battle coming into Kyle Petty running third. Dallenbach is fourth. And in fifth place is Rusty Wallace. Kyle locks the right front brake coming in here. Wally thinks that's a chance maybe to pass him, but he can't do it. Coming off his turn. But Ken Schrader is taking advantage of the car number 10 coming off that turn. Now we're inside of Rusty Wallace's car as he heads through the S's.
What happened just a moment ago coming down into turn 11. There we see Rudd and Martin have made some contact. We can see the damage to Ricky Rudd's nose, and the damage is considerable damage to the right and rear on Mark Martin's car.
And Kyle Petty is the man that came out the best in that whole deal. He took the inside route and passed about 4 or 5 cars there, wound up in 4th place.
And here it is from another angle.
See Martin going around. Yeah, there's Kyle Petty going by.
Jeff Gordon and Ken Schrader getting by, and Mark Martin has made his way to the pits. He is right down here in front of us in the broadcast booth. Crew going to work on the Valvoline 4. Jerry Punch is also right there.
And they will change all 4 tires. They already have the right side lug nuts off and the tires changed. They will make a chassis adjustment. Remember, they had a tire rubbing on the right rear. They can change all 4 here and not lose a lap, so why not go ahead and change them, have fresh rubber, top it off in fuel. Left side tires are on. The is down and away after trying to repair some damage to the right rear.
24-second pit stop from Mark Martin.
And they pulled the sheet metal away from that right rear tire during that pit stop.
Here's the in-car of this incident.
He's about 3/4 of a lap behind the leaders. So he'll have pretty clear racetrack out there to run on.
Ernie Irvin continuing to lead. He won here in '92, has 4 top 10s in the 5 previous races here at Sears Point. And this battle continues between Petty and Dallenbach also. That's a good one. That is for 3rd spot now. 3rd, 4th, and 5th right there, with Wallace running in the 5th spot, and then Jeff Bodine 6th and Labonte 7th. Dallenbach tries to go to the inside of Kyle. He may have the position.
And that's exactly where we had the problem a moment ago with the 98 and the 9. And we see Rick Corelli, the Total Petroleum car, spun off the course. It looks like it's
up there at turn 2, ended up the top of the hill.
Looks like it. I thought it was moving a moment ago, but.
Well, anyway, Dallenbach has 3rd position. Petty 4th, and now Rusty may get him mid.
Yeah, he might do it. He's trying to move on the inside of Kyle, but Kyle keeps a fairly low line, and here comes Jeff Bodine up on the outside of Rusty Wallace. He might get by Wallace, and he does. Boy, a lot of close racing. They made a little contact there, but everybody pulled out of it okay.
Rusty was trying to get around Kyle Petty, and all of a sudden Bodine passed him on the outside.
Here's the spin. Car number 76 has spun here. Caution in this area. That, of course, is Ron Hornaday Jr. His car going, and he's going to spin her around and boom, get going again. He's out on the dirt. That wasn't hard to do.
Nice move, but he threw a lot of dirt up on the racetrack there in front of you, Ned, and that may cause some slick conditions.
Yeah, it could very well do it. We'll see when the leaders come back around here what it'll do for us.
Did Corelli ever get going? The 61 car, evidently, he did get his car going.
Rusty Wallace started 12th, has been as high as 5th. He is currently in 6th position. Boy, these cars are really running close together.
Bob, it's unbelievable just how hard these fellows are running. They've been here 5 or 6 years now. They're getting some experience. They're able to set their cars up, and they are going for it. I mean, from 1st to 42nd running as hard as they can.
This is how Jeff Bodine surprised Rusty Wallace and passed him on the outside in front of Ned.
Yeah, Rusty was trying to pass Kyle Petty, but then Bodine came up there just right on the outside of Rusty on that turn. Rusty had to back off the gas a little bit there. They touched a little bit coming off the turn, but Jeff had the preferred line once he got off of that turn and made the pass. And incidentally, Bob, with Mark Martin right now is 30 seconds in front of Ernie Irvin, which means he's about a minute 10 or 15 seconds behind him.
Here's the interval leaderboard with Earnhardt almost 3 seconds behind Ernie. Dallenbach 7.5. Mark Martin is running in 38th position. He is the last car on the lead lap. Here's the Armor All in-car camera right behind Rusty Wallace.
A little bit of contact that time between Jeff Bodine and Kyle Petty, but certainly nothing like Mark Martin and Ricky Rudd a moment ago.
Riding with Terry Labonte, carrying the Armor All in-car camera. Up the hill, corner number 3 and 4. Now it's headed downhill toward turn number 5.
There goes Bodine. He's on the inside of Kyle.
Got him. Rusty may come too. Let's see.
Turn 6 over the carousel on the outside. I don't think so. Well, Russ is going to lose another spot to Terry Labonte.
Yeah, Terry's sticking his nose up there. They'll take advantage of any opportunity.
Now Rusty holds his spot for the moment.
And here comes Terry Labonte trying to move up on the outside of Rusty. Don't think that'll work this time. And Jeff Gordon is up there on the outside of Kenny Schrader and makes the pass.
And Dr. Jerry Punch is with Derek Cope.
Derek, a scary moment up on the road course, you and John Krebs. What happened up there?
Well, we just tried to go underneath John there with Bodine, and we got alongside him. We're trying to go to the next corner, and then we just touched, going through there side by side. That corner is a fast corner, and off we went. I don't know what happened. I couldn't turn the car after we touched and went up and hit the embankment. But unfortunately, it was a good day for the Finger Hut 4. We were running pretty well, and then he ended up all that problem there. But I just want to say hi to John Holmquist, who's leaving Finger Hut. He's the guy who put it all together, and just want to say thanks a lot and good luck.
Derek Cope coming off a victory in Busch Grand National competition at New Hampshire, hoping to get a run today, but comes up short. Bob?
We're just glad that he is okay and that John Krebs is also okay after that very nasty-looking incident. Now picking up some of the other battles that are going on. There's Ken Schrader and Sterling Marlin, but out in front, all by himself, is Ernie Irvan. And we have another spin somewhere on the course. There it is. It's in front of Benny.
Quit talking long enough. Let me talk. Bob Hornaday looped right in front of me. Little contact with the Dave Marcus car. Around he went, and when he got sideways, he nailed it and started spinning the rear tires to make the car going around, and smoke every place around here.
I'm sorry. I thought you were taking a bite of food. Here it is again. Now you can explain it in greater detail.
Oh, okay. We see Marcus on the inside of Hornaday come down in the corner, and little contact. Round goes Hornaday, and watch as he nails the gas. And look at all that smoke.
Benny, you want to take it to break?
Hey, look, that was my job.
Okay, go.
Just hush. Folks, we're at Sears Point Raceway with lots of activity, and we'll be back with more after this.
Sears Point Raceway in Sonoma, California, in the wine country, being led by Ernie Irvan, the Save Mart Supermarkets 300. He has a rather comfortable lead on second place, Dale Earnhardt. Running back in third is Wally Dallenbach, then Jeff Bodine, last year's winner, and Kyle Petty running in fifth spot as we show you another Cram Field summary. Irvan down off of corner number 6 and down the straightaway for number 7. Climbing on the brakes again.
Yep, it's so smooth through here, Bob. That car is handling beautifully. It turned the track at about 142. That's pretty good lap speed. Considering under race condition, he's already built up a little over a 5-second lead on Dale Earnhardt. And here comes the car number 76, smoking heavy, coming into this turn. That is Ron Hornaday Jr. We've seen him have some problems today, and he's been posted with a black flag, but a lot of people are anxious as they get around him. A lot of smoke coming from that car. They don't know how much oil he might be dropping.
That's a car that spun up by you, Benny, and created so much smoke.
Well, he just made a pit stop the last lap by to change 4 tires because of the spin. He had a flat right rear, as a matter of fact. But it looks like maybe I don't know if it's oil smoke or tires rubbing the fender again.
Well, Ricky Rudd has a lot of damage on the right front of the car. That's where he hit Mark Martin there in turn number 11.
That's the left front, Bob.
Okay.
The one on the.
It's right now when you're looking at it.
Yeah, okay.
By the way, he's back in 14th position. He was up among the top 5 or 6, but has dropped back to 14th now.
Bob, there might be 2 things happening there. Maybe it's not rubbing a tire. That could be a problem, but also it's not a part of his air shut off in those brake ducts, that air ducts that Benny was talking about earlier. They got all the air ducts on there that they can stand, and it's got that whole area punched in. He's not getting as much air to those brakes as he was before.
Just ahead of him is Brett Bodine. He's in 13th. Well, Jeff Gordon just got by Terry Labonte.
Going towards mid-gear. I think come towards you, Ned.
Rusty Wallace is coming towards me, but that, yeah, right behind them is car number 24. As Rusty tries to make a pass on Kyle Petty, but can't do it. That's Jeff Gordon, Terry Labate, Ken Schrader, and Sterling Marlin all going through here. Morgan Shepherd not too far behind that group.
Jeff moved up to 7th position with that pass. Remember a year ago when Rusty Wallace was running here with the injury to his wrist that he suffered in Talladega? Doing such a fine job and then lost a transmission in the late stages of the event. Lost the points lead. Never could get it back again. So this was definitely a critical turning point for Rusty in his 93 season.
Turn 3.
Kyle Petty got him on the ripple strips there a little bit. And on the other side, too. Bouncing that Pontiac around.
Sure is. This is turn 4. A real sharp right under. Now we're going down to the spot that Cope and John Krebs got together right in there.
Here is 26 Kyle Bodine and Rudd and Harry Gant. How about that?
Yeah, how about that? Harry Gant never professed to be a road rusher, did he, Ned?
No, not that I know of, but he grew up on a farm where there was a lot of sliding dirt track racing out in the country.
Harry's up to 15th spot, and Dr. Jerry Punch has more on Ricky Rudd's condition.
Bob, I just spoke to Bill Engel, the crew chief for the Tide Ford. He said that when Ricky was involved in the incident down in turn 11 with Mark Martin, it bent up the left front fender, which is taking away all the downforce of the car, and now he's got a really severe push. He's having a hard time getting the car to turn, which is costing him some time on the racetrack.
Here's the Busch race summary. Ernie Irvan leading 26 of the first 30 laps. 3 lead changes among 3 cars. There are 36 on the lead lap. We've had 2 full course cautions that totaled 4 laps, and the average speed of the event is 77.326. There are your 3 lap leaders. Irvan, Dale Earnhardt, and John Krebs led a lap under caution before he crashed out. He and Derek Cope are the only 2 that are officially out of this event. Both, of course, because of a very ugly looking crash. Both of them are okay.
Yeah, I tell you what, if NASCAR tried to go get John Krebs' car and bring it back to the garage area, we'd have had about 15 laps on the caution.
Yeah, it may be days before they get him out of there.
Oh, there Harry Gant goes by Ricky Rudd.
How about Harry moving up to 14th spot? He really had to climb on the brakes and lit him up, but he got the job done.
Going down the hill to turn 4, I think. Ricky Rudd gets on the brakes, and Harry Gant says, I'm going on the inside. Smoked that right front.
Harry Gant in his final appearance here at Sears Point. Up to 14th position. It continues to be Ernie Irvan's show. He has dominated in fine fashion, leading all but just a few laps of this event, and he is well out ahead right now as 33 laps have been completed. Earnhardt running second. It's Kyle Petty third. Jeff Bodine fourth. Wally Dallenbach, I'm sorry, is third, and Kyle Petty is fifth. We'll be right back. The Save Mart Supermarkets 300 at Sears Point Raceway in California is under our 3rd full course caution of the day. It is because Jeff Gordon's car has just stopped. Here's Jerry.
Just spoke with Ray Evernham, Jeff Gordon's crew chief, who said he thinks that Jeff's not really sure He thinks it could be the rear end, it could be the transmission, whatever. The car just stopped pulling, and that's why Gordon pulled the DuPont Chevrolet off. Now, Ricky Rudd has had more problems since the last time I spoke. He just radioed the crew and said, I now have only rear brakes. I have no front brakes at all, so they're prepared to work on that car. And by the way, Ernie Irvin just radioed his crew and gave him a challenge. He said, guys, this time I want to beat the 3 car out of the pits, and I want to pass him again on the racetrack.
Okay, well, we are set up for pit stops. They should be happening as soon as the cars come around. And they're down in turn number 7, it looks like.
Yeah, the leaders have already gone past turn 7, Bob, and are headed down through the S's now, so they'll be getting back to the pits before too long. We see these 18th, 19th, 20th place cars going through here now. This will be a break for Mark Martin. He was running about 1 minute and 10 seconds behind. The leader was running almost as fast as the leader, but he had made that unscheduled pit stop, so now he'll get to catch up, but he still will have to make an awfully quick pit stop in order to get up near the front.
The pits are open, and they will become very busy here in a matter of moments as Ernie Irvin and Dale Earnhardt and Wally Dallenbach and the others come in for a pit stop. Here's John Kernan.
Jeff Bodine running in 5th position. He will be the first man into his pit. He has the first pit here on the main stretch of pits. It will be a 4-tire change for Bodine. Danny Glad just told me they were all very, very pumped. They were either going to be heroes or zeros. Right side's already on, no chassis adjustment. They'll come around to the left side. A little bit of a problem on the right front, but they finally get the lug nuts tight. Left's coming off. It's a 4-tire change. Now let's go down to Ernie Irvin's pit.
Remember, Ernie Irvin has challenged his pit crew. They must beat the 3 car out of the pits. Right side tires already on. Irvin's car, left side going on. The Hamlin crew trying to keep their driver out front. As left side lug nuts are on, they drop the jack. 19.2, and Ernie Irvin is down and away.
They definitely got the job done. They got him out before anybody else. Rusty Wallace was second off of pit road, and then Earnhardt in third. Well, of course, California very, very environmentally aware of what's going on. That's more or less the subject of our ESPN Track Fact for today.
Track Facts are brought to you by Quaker State, the intelligent oil for longer engine life. With the strict EPA standards the state of California imposes to protect the environment, NASCAR teams have an easy way to dispose of the fluids and materials that cycle through their race cars during a race weekend, as well as a place for teams to clean the parts for their cars. Internationally known recycler Safety Clean provides this service at each racetrack in a program that began last season. And they have even found ways to reuse the products teams don't need. They found a way to recycle the waste.
We recycle the oil the teams generate and the track, whatever the track generates year-round. Oil filters that come off the cars and off the track vehicles. Antifreeze, which is going away, but there's still some antifreeze used. We provide absorbent, a corn cob material that's more environmentally sound than clay. That's what we do. We are probably the nation's largest recycler of solvents.
So now fans can purchase the recycled products of your favorite driver at some retail outlets.
It might be Earnhardt's, Kyle's, could be a combination of both, but yes, I mean that's far-reaching, but absolutely.
Everybody very environmentally conscious here in California and throughout the nation, for that matter. We'll have an update from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway while we are under caution. Then we'll be back with more of the Save Mart Supermarkets 300.
Well, the Ray Evernham crew is working. They checked the axles. They're looking now at the rear end. Jeff, the car just quit pulling on you?
Yeah, you know, I was going up through the gears and You know, it might, I don't know exactly what it was. I mean, it stopped pulling. I heard a bunch of things break, and you know, I just pulled it off to the side and shut it off and wait till we get back here to fix it. But had a good run going today. You know, that's what we needed. We need a nice, consistent run today and a finish. And, you know, we're just not getting the breaks, not getting the luck. We're running good, but it's just not all coming together.
Well, better luck next time. Jerry?
Gentlemen, Mark Martin spent 2 minutes and 15 seconds on pit road. Apparently the car's got a bad push. They got too soft of springs in the rear. They put a rubber in both rear springs trying to derail that push. Hopefully it'll have an effect as we go.
Green flag comes out. There are 2 cars ahead of Ernie Irvin as they come up. That's Dave Marcus and Ron Hornaday Jr. Now Irvin will pass them on the inside as Rusty Wallace is right behind him in second spot, and then Dale Earnhardt.
They want to be very careful going through this area of the track, Bob, and Ernie Irvin is doing just that, being very careful. He wants to keep Rusty back there. He knows that he can pass the 76 car okay once he gets out here, maybe heading towards turn 7, but...
Oh, Terry Labonte spins, gets in the side of the 4 car, and meanwhile, Jimmy Spencer's involved. But I tell you what, it could have been a lot worse than the good.
Yes, it could have. There's the in-car camera with Terry. He is up against the tire barrier, and this could bring out a full course caution. No, he's going to get the car going. I'm not sure how well it's going to steer. But Labonte is going. Yeah, that could have wiped out several cars because they were very tightly bunched in that area when Terry got sideways. Tore off the left corner of the car up the front end. But the Armor All in-car camera still works perfectly.
Sterling Marlin having a major problem as he went through the turn here, but let's watch this replay of Terry Labonte.
Oh, he and Jeff Bodine get together.
Yep.
And look at all that traffic behind him. How all those cars missed him. I see that 4 car didn't miss him.
Yeah. He tagged Sterling pretty good. Oh, and Jimmy Spencer ran up over Darrell Waltrip. Ran up on the side of his car. Here's another angle.
Yeah, we'll see Labonte come in the screen sideways. There the 4 car. He's the guy that did all the damage to the left front. Now watch Spencer as he rides up over.
It was obscured by the smoke, but he got way up on the side of Waltrip's car. Harry Gant had to get into the grass, but he managed to avoid everything. And the number 50 car is off the course. That is Mike Chase.
Looks like he's way off the course,
He
Bob.
is. Terry Labonte has made it to the pit area, Jerry.
And Terry limps by Sterling Marlin's Kodak Film Chevrolet, also in the pits getting right side work. Heavy front end damage, looks to be mostly sheet metal damage on the front of the Terry Labonte's car, the Kellogg Chevrolet. The crew now, that is Gary Dehart trying to do his Superman imitation and twist off some of the sheet metal in the left front. They're changing left side tires. Terry, the Iceman, sits very calmly, revving the engine inside the car. Had a great race car. I thought they had a great chance possibly of picking up a win here. Left side tires going on. You hear the air wrenches in the background. Sledgehammers have come out there trying to pound now some of the sheet metal away from the front of the car. Work continuing here on Terry Labonte's car as the leaders now come out of turn 11, and Ernie Irvin will come by and pass Sterling Marlin and Terry Labonte on pit road.
Here is the in-car camera replay with the audio. Take a listen and a watch. Boy, you're like on one of those tilt-a-whirls at the county fair, huh?
We could hear Terry Labonte nail the accelerator as he was in the middle of the spin, trying to get the car to go on around and hope to do a 360 and keep going. He was not that lucky.
Labonte is off pit road, however, and heads back into competition. There's the 27 car of Jimmy Spencer, John.
Well, there's a lot of work going on the left front. You can see where they torn it back. They're cutting it away. Mike Hill, the crew chief, is. Spencer continues to sit in his car. It doesn't look like any other parts are damaged. It just looks like the fender was pushed in and torn away partially and touching on the tire. Spencer gunning the engine. They're waiting to get the final piece of metal cut. And they, boy, that's a tough piece of metal for sure. It's taking Mike Hill forever to cut through it. And let's go down to Sterling Marlin's pit where Jerry punches. And now the jack man had not.
And apparently the caution flag is going to come out, John, which could be a break. Sterling Marlin will lose another lap here in the pits as Ernie Irvin goes by and Earnhardt as they come by. But we might mention Sterling Marlin apparently has lost the brakes in the right front of the car. That's part of the sheet metal damage, and he is sustained on the Kodak film Chevrolet.
So an overall full course caution coming out again. That's our 4th of the afternoon. It's because of Mike Chase's incident. His car is still near the racetrack, and here's a look at what happened in that situation.
There we see him going straight ahead and spinning around up on the tires. That's about where Richard Petty got off the course a couple of years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. Remember, folks, he hit that barrier so hard. That's turn 1, I guess it is, or 1A.
He hit it even harder than Mike did, but it is our 4th full course caution on lap number 41. We'll be right back. We are under caution, but no pit stops being made in the Save Mart Supermarkets 300 NASCAR Winston Cup race from Sears Point Raceway, Sonoma, California. Our full course caution is being caused by an incident involving Mike Chase, whose car could not move away from where it stopped after he spun off course. Here they come past the start finish line, heading up the hill to turn number 2. And it is there where the Mike Chase crash occurred. There you can see the tow truck there getting his car off of the track. And now we will once again show you exactly how it got in that position.
Under the red sign, we'll see Mike Chase make contact. That might have been, I don't know, I want to say the 90 car, but I'm not sure. Looked like Mike Wallace and Mike Chase made some contact.
And just before that, there was this incident resulting in contact between Terry Labonte and Jeff Bodine.
Bodine tried to get on the inside of Labonte, spinning Labonte around, and heavy traffic behind. There's Jimmy Spencer going up over Darrell Waltrip, almost. A lot of damage done to his car. And of course, Sterling Marlin was caught up in it as well.
And both Marlin and Spencer were in the pits to get their sheet metal torn away. Here's the in-car camera from Terry. And he has made it back to the pits. And the 50 car is carrying one of the tires from the tire barrier.
He's driving the car, isn't he?
Yeah, he's moving.
Brought him a souvenir from that spot up there.
If the track were wet, that tire back there would aid in the drying of the track. You see that so many times on the short track.
Oh, it finally left.
Yeah. So under caution once again, everybody taking a breather here from what has been a very interesting, exciting race, although Ernie Irvin certainly has been the dominant force so far. Back at Sears Point Raceway, Sonoma, California, where the lights atop the pace car remain on, meaning we'll go at least one more lap before we get the green flag.
I think we're having some problem getting the barriers back in place up in turn 1 where Mike Chase went in there.
Plus the fact that he was coming around the track very slowly. We saw him with the right rear tire flat on that car once they got it pulled off of the tires there, and he's going around real slow and also putting a little debris out on the racetrack as he goes around.
Yeah, he's coming down turn. Well, there's a truck following him as he comes down toward the end of pit road right now.
Well, Mark Martin has worked his way back up to 18th position after an incident earlier in the race. As you all know, Mark Martin is one of the most physically fit race drivers that participates in NASCAR Winston Cup competition. And certainly there's a member of our broadcast team here who could use a little strength and conditioning, and he visited with Mark recently.
Mark, I have got to get in shape. I mean, John, I got to get rid of this. Is there any hope?
What do you think? I think we can show you something here. Come on.
Do you feel like that the training that you do helps you in the race car?
I certainly believe it does. I really believe that it's helped me escape injury in a number of really hard crashes, which is really important when you're chasing points.
You can have the fastest race car it is on the track. If you can't intensely drive that car from the beginning to the end of the race, it doesn't matter how good your car is, because you're not going to be able to do well physically yourself. You know, and I think that's where Mark differs from a lot of drivers in the fact that he drives just as hard at the end of the race as he did at the beginning. And that's, I attribute a lot of that to his good physical condition.
How many is that, a dozen?
Forgot to count?
Yeah.
Okay, this is one. Oh.
Nice and slow. Yeah, nice and easy. Oh, there you go.
Whoops. Could take you 3 seconds to come up. That's a 1.5, not bad. There you go.
Man, oh man.
Yeah.
There. It's there. It's just hiding. Ready to try it, Ben?
I don't know. I mean, I step in here like this.
Yeah. There you go.
Wait a minute. How you get this?
There you
Like
go.
that?
Yeah.
I don't think I can do this one, boys.
So, Benny, how do you feel?
Oh, man, I am sore. This is a lot of work.
You're slimming down now.
Oh, man, I'm telling you. I worked up an appetite. Is there a restaurant close by?
Only health food.
That on top of this?
Benny, the problem with coming out here to the San Francisco area where there's so many fine restaurants is that you just can't seem to stay away from them, huh?
Yeah, I am guilty as charged. Can you see? Oh, it's terrible, folks. It is absolutely terrible. I'm sorry. Turn that camera around the other way. I like this high-tech equipment I got down here, Bob.
Yeah, how about that?
Cardboard box, right?
I also like the area of the track you're in because there's a couple of hospitality tents down there that I notice have been funneling you out some food now and then. Okay, we're set to go back to racing as now the pace car pulls away from Ernie Irvan, Rusty Wallace, Dale Earnhardt, Wally Dallenbach, and Jeff Bodine. We are back under racing, and as Ernie Irvan takes the green flag, he has locked up the 5 bonus points for leading the most laps, the 6th time this year that he has done so. Continuing to move up, passing Dale Jarrett.
That's for 16th position.
Don't count Mark out yet, as John Kernan told you in the opening of the program. Ernie Irvan has come from the back of the field to win, and he may be looking at a situation like that as he moves up another position, although, boy, Ernie Irvan has just been so strong today.
There's Mark Martin passing Ricky Rudd there in turn 7. Martin has an awfully fast race car. We reported earlier that when he was out there running by himself after he made the unscheduled pit stop that he was running laps about as fast as Ernie Irvan was, but he was over a minute behind him. But now with the cautions, he's been able to catch up, but still has what you might say bad track position, but he's picking them off one at a time.
Coming down through turn 11, we see Musgrave, the Family Channel car, on the inside of Brett Bodine, and there goes Mark Martin going by Harrogate, taking another position away.
That moves him up into 14th position. There are still 30 cars on the lead lap and 4 cars that only are 1 lap down.
I will tell you, folks, I just saw Jeff Gordon go by again, so he is back on the racetrack.
Yes,
several laps now.
He came out during that caution period. The root cam on Mark Martin's car. That's Bobby Labonte ahead in the Maxwell House Pontiac.
Bobby having a good run after having spun there down in turn 11 in front of Benny a while back, but he's the battle back, gets off track there a little bit, but doesn't hurt him too much.
Throw a little sand in Mark Martin's face that time.
Yeah, Mark's going to come on the inside as he's coming into the turn here, and he's going to make the pass. Jeff Burton is the next car in front of Mark.
Here's a graphic that will compare the technical part of the racetrack to the fast part of the racetrack. And as you can see, Irvin is considerably quicker than Mark Martin in the technical portion, but Mark has the advantage in the fast portion of the racetrack.
And there he goes by Jeff Burton, takes another spot away. Kyle Petty right in front of him, and Kyle was so strong earlier on. Looks like his car's slowing down a little bit, the mellow yellow Pontiac.
John Andretti started in 38th position, and he has moved up to 24th in the Financial World Car. And my hat is off to Billy Hagan, his car owner, and John Andretti. Both he and I, of course, had commitments at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway yesterday. He qualified for the 500, 8th fastest at the time yesterday. And then he was nice enough to allow me a spot on his Lear jet that he had chartered to get him back here to Sonoma. So hats off to those two for getting me here to California in good shape last night, about 3 hours and 45 minutes from Indianapolis. Jerry?
And Bob, when he came here this morning, went to the drivers' meeting, there was a bit of a cheer went up when they announced John Andretti's name at the drivers' meeting, because the drivers appreciate what he has put himself through to be back here and be a part of this race today. In fact, talk about congratulations, Bob Piccinini, who owns Save Mart, said,
"Oh, here's trouble up in turn 7. Kyle Petty has spun around. He's okay now, but he lost maybe 8 or 10 positions as he got spun around, but everybody was going slow enough that they were able to dodge him."
And Jerry, one of those who went around him was John Andretti, so continue with your story.
What I started to say was Bob Piccinini, who owns Save Mart, which is the sponsor of this race, and I started with one store, and hard work got me where I am today. So I'm going to get on the side of that Billy Hagan race car for John Andretti, because I appreciate what the young man is trying to do. So he's sponsoring Andretti here in this race.
And John Andretti, of course, hopes later this month to be the first driver ever to participate in the Indianapolis 500 and the Coca-Cola World 600 in the same day. Kyle Petty beginning to move up through the traffic after his incident. Let's take a look at what happened. Well, he was already sideways when we picked it up.
Yeah, Mark Martin was on the outside coming through there, and Bobby Labonte as well. So they get around. Everybody gets around Kyle. But there's some anxious moments there for him and a lot of other drivers.
So Ernie Irvan, there he is, continuing to lead here at Sears Point. We will be back after another update from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and some messages. Stay with us for more of the Save Mart Supermarkets 300 from Sears Point Raceway. Back at Sears Point Raceway in Sonoma, it is Ernie Irvan who continues to lead. He has a 2.6-second advantage over Jeff Bodine, who has moved to second place, putting Rusty back to third, 3.2 seconds behind. Dave Earnhardt is a little over 4 seconds behind, and Wally Dallenbach hanging in there in the top 5.6 seconds behind Ernie Irvan. Bob Jenkins, Benny Parsons, Ned Jarrett, John Kernan, and Dr. Jerry Punch for ESPN Speed World coverage of the Save Mart Supermarkets 300 NASCAR Winston Cup race. from Sears Point. Well, we're comparing Ernie Irvan, the leader, with Jeff Bodine running in second position. Through the technical part of this racetrack, Irvan is about a second quicker. Through the fast part of the racetrack, Ernie is only about a tenth of a second faster. But he maintains an overall faster lap there, you can see, by about 1.1 seconds. Ernie Irvan, the leader. We promised you the top 10 going to break. Only got to the top 5. The second 5, Musgrave, Dallenbach, Martin, Schrader, and Petty. Ernie Irvan often right there at that point gets the right side of the car off the ground when he goes over those rumble strips. Now watch Morgan Shepherd come through here. He's okay. Wally, he's a little airborne, and whoa! Musgrave gets way up in the air.
Yeah, Ernie's dodging that as much as he can, because that's, as you can see, it's very upsetting to the race car, but it also can do damage to the race car. And the lead that he has now, he needs to keep it on the smooth part of the racetrack, and that's what he's trying to do. He's coming through turn 7 here right now, has a good line through this turn, and it makes no slips, doesn't get out too close to those ripples, strips coming off the turn.
There are 12 laps to go in this race, a little over 11 actually, as you see another Autolite field summary. Here comes Jeff Bodine running in second position. A lap car of Labonte.
There's Bobby Hamilton, Ward Burton. There comes the race for third spot for Rusty Wallace and Dale Earnhardt. There's Morgan Shepherd and Wally Dallenbach to race for sixth.
The 17 car of Darrell Waltrip is off the course. He's trying to get it going again. And looks like he will do so successfully. Darrell was being shown in the 18th position. All right, we'll finish our field summary there. John Andretti running 21st. There are 26 cars on the lead lap. 6 cars a lap down. Grissom and Chase 3 down. Lake Speed 4 down. He crashed, as you recall, earlier in the race.
I will tell you that Wally Dallenbach just passed Morgan Shepherd for what is it? 5th spot down in turn 11 that last time by.
Happy birthday to Chrissy Wallace, the 6-year-old daughter of Mike Wallace, who is running in 24th position. And here's the battle for 3rd position, and Earnhardt passes Wallace.
Boy, he caught him on one of the tough parts of the racetrack and did that, Bob. We said earlier that you didn't pass through those turns, but he proved us wrong once again. Dale Earnhardt made that pass and they're over 3rd position.
Down the hill there at turn 6, and now they come into the view of Ned, and he looks like Rusty is really sawing the wheel there.
Yes, he is. Rick Mast going very slow coming in here, and here's a spin by Waltrip as he spun out there a little bit ago. Just looked like
he was all by himself.
Yeah, just got in there a little too quick and spun around, and he got it going again, though.
And Darrell's way too old for something like that to happen.
Rick Mast, we mentioned a moment ago, in the Gold Classic car is going very slow. He's down through the Essex now. He might be able to make it back to the pits.
Well, Earnhardt trying to find his way around Ward Burton there. He will on this straightaway, headed toward turn number 11. It's the transmission on Rick Mast's car that has caused him to slow significantly.
There we saw Earnhardt slide that right front as he got in the corner a little bit too strong, had to hit the brakes heavy. Fourth gear, we see Rusty in 4th. He's going up the hill, turn 1. 3rd gear, back to 2nd for turn 2. Then accelerate and try to catch Dale Earnhardt, but looks like to avail. There's 2A. I guess that's 3. There's 3A.
Rusty up on the rumble strips, getting the right side of the car airborne.
There we see Earnhardt once again sliding that right front.
Yep. So Wallace now back to 4th position as Ernie Irvan continues to lead. He's built up his advantage to 7 seconds over Jeff and to a total of 25 over 5th place, Wally Dallenbach. Welcome back to Sears Point Raceway, where Ernie Irvan continues to lead the Save Mart Supermarkets 300. It's been an easy race so far for Ernie Irvan, and he only has 8 laps to go. Here is the best battle on the racetrack for 6th. Shepard in 21 and Ted Musgrave in 16.
And they're coming down towards turn 11 right now. Musgrave once again going to try to outbrake Morgan or get him in the corner too deep. Morgan does go way high now. Musgrave is going to try. But here comes Morgan back on the outside, inside, whichever way you want to call it. Maintains that position.
Boy, it was a drag race off of corner number 11, but Morgan was able to maintain his position as they came down through turn 12, crossed the start-finish line, and now heading up the hill once again.
That's 6th and 7th. They have really been going at it. Mark Martin is running an 8th, isn't he, Bob? Not too far behind him.
Yep, you're right. There he is. Mark Martin has worked his way back to 8th position from the roof cam.
Oh, there's man, oh man. I don't think Musgrave knew he could do that.
I don't think Morgan thought he would try it.
I don't either.
He did. Now he's in 6th. Morgan 7th. And meanwhile, Mark Martin continues to gain on him. Musgrave about to get that turn a little too hard.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think he had the correct line through that turn, but he made it anyway. He's cutting the rumble strips. Morgan Shepard, 6th in the NASCAR Winston Cup points coming in, 310 behind the leader, Ernie Irvan. Ernie Irvan, by the way, you'll recall, started from the pole position, and he could win $15,200 in Unocal bonus money. The race has never been won from the pole here at Sears Park. Just a few laps remaining now for Ernie Irvan, the Texaco Havoline Ford. And he'll win the race. Here's an Autolite field summary for you. Jerry Punch has more on the leader of this race.
Bob, a couple of days ago during a personal appearance, Ernie Irvan struck up a friendship with 15-year-old Richard Herron out of Oakland, California. Now, Richard suffers from a very peculiar form of muscular dystrophy. Ernie told the young man, if I win the Save Mart 300, I want you to be in victory lane and share that victory with me. So a lot of fans across the country are pulling for Ernie Irvan. But one right here, about 100 yards away, Richard Herron of Oakland really wants to see Ernie take the checkered flag.
Nice move on Ernie Irvan's part. Here we're showing you the interval between Irvan, who passed by long ago, and here finally comes Jeff Bodine in 2nd position. And with less than 6 laps to go,
I think Jeff's figured it out. He's not going to win unless something happens to Ernie.
I think you're right. Now we're looking for the 3 car, who's in 3rd position. There's Dale.
He's about as far behind Bodine as Bodine is behind Ernie. Maybe not quite as far.
Yep.
And then Rusty Wallace almost that far behind Dale Earnhardt.
Up through the S's comes Dale Earnhardt. And here comes Rusty Wallace.
And Wally Dallenbach's not that far away. 6 laps to go. He possibly could catch Rusty Wallace. What's that, 4 spot?
Yeah, he's been gained on him, Benny, for the last 5 or 6 laps. Once he got around Morgan Shepard, he took off.
Wally has just had an excellent race. Very strong. Here comes Ted Musgrave. He's in 6th. Family Channel Ford. And there's 7th, Morgan Shepard coming through.
And right behind him is Mark Martin.
We'll take a ride with his suspension cam. While we're doing this, I'll tell you that the number 36 car, Butch Gilliland, is the tops among the Winston West competitors. As he comes up through the corner here, we'll see if he gets that tire off the racetrack. Now you can see him went over the rumble strip. Didn't get it off the ground, but you did see the tire go over the rumble strip.
There we see the brake rotor turn cherry red when he hits the brake.
Now we go inside the car of Ricky Rudd and watch his foot action. Pumping the brake, getting it slowed down, then transferring over to the accelerator.
Long time that time. There we see Rudd right behind Jeff Burton. That's right you did, didn't it?
Yes, right in front of us, coming off of turn 7 right now.
By the way, Jeff is the highest among the rookies at this point. The brake light, by the way, on the telemetry is not working. But you can get an idea of the RPMs and the speed that they're achieving and the gear that they're in. Shifting to fourth there.
134 miles an hour.
Yep, down to...
Well, they're going to come towards me with it. He will be the slowest he's going to be down in turn 11.
There is Ted Musgrave running in 6th position. Here is Wally Dallenbach taking away the 4th position from Rusty Wallace. Dallenbach to 4th with now less than 4 laps to go.
There we see Todd Bodine's car sitting down there, so evidently he didn't get that car off the tires we saw him earlier up on.
Here they come off turn 7. It's Dallenbach and Rusty. Gets out through the S's as Ernie Irvin right in front of Vinny.
Yep, comes through, and I tell you what, the car has just been so good through this corner. Comes off the corner, accelerates, doesn't slip the back end. Larry McReynolds, Robert Yates, this entire crew has done a great job getting this car ready for Sears Point.
22 cars are in the lead lap. Sears Point record 21 in 1990 and 92.
Joe Nemechek goes by, Chuck Bound. There's Mike Wallace, and then finally comes Jeff Bodine, the Exide battery car.
Jeff Gordon in the pits for a few laps. He's 12 down in 36th position. Jeff also passing Mike Wallace, who is 23rd, a lap down. Here's Earnhardt coming through in 3rd spot. And now we'll see how far it is back to the 43 car of Dallenbach, who is in 4th, having passed Rusty Wallace just a couple of laps ago. There he is. In fact, he's stretched out his advantage over Wallace a little bit. May have been hung up behind Greg Sachs there in the US Air car.
Coming into turn 7 right now, Bill Elliott having a problem in the Budweiser Ford. He was running in the 13th position. Brett Bodine had just gotten around him, and Elliott, some kind of a problem.
Well, I'm not sure that he will not be able to make it to a safer spot. He's going to have to stop right there alongside the racetrack with less than 3 laps to go. Will we end this race under caution?
Well, he has no power, obviously.
We look over toward the start-finish line, and we can see conversation being conducted between the officials up there, and I'm sure the officials in race control.
Bill Elliott is using the starter to try to get that car away from the hill and down as far as he possibly could as Ernie Irvin goes by. But the starter's only going to let it go for so long. Now maybe it will roll on its own down this hill.
Yeah, it looks like it's picking up speed as he goes downhill.
But he'll never make it up the hill over turn 6, that's for sure.
Yeah. question is, can he get it far enough off course or in a position where it is not a hazard? As he goes down the hill here, he might be able to get the car to a safe location. We'll see.
Well, he's trying.
Yeah, there we go.
Yep.
There he
Got it out
does.
of the way.
Great. Okay, no caution then. Here's Irvin. Through the S's once again.
Through the S's, that's through turn 9. Now back to the right is 10, and straight towards me, turn 11.
He won here in 1992. And if things continue to go well, he'll chalk up another victory. Here he comes off of corner number 11, crossing the line. White flag, 1 lap to go. 1 lap to go. Here's Jeff Burton, the highest rookie at the moment. And this is a battle for 15th position between Burton and Ricky Rudd. Ernie Irvin is on his last lap inside with Ricky. Up to third.
And meanwhile, here's another great race as Mark Martin is closed up on the back number. Morgan Chevrolet tried to get alongside. Down on 11, lost 2 or 3 car lengths.
It's a battle for 7th. Morgan has 7th. Mark 8th. Ernie Irvin, meanwhile,
Coming into turn 7, Bob, just nice and smooth around here. No traffic in front of him. Huck Strickland is up, a couple hundred yards in front of him, but no threat as he comes through the S's here. Just nice and smooth as he has done most of the day. I'll tell you, don't often see a car that dominant in NASCAR Winston Cup competition. As Denny said earlier, that crew did their homework, prepared a great car. Ernie Irvin has done a great job of driving it today as he heads towards Benton.
And they took this car to Road Atlanta, just north of Atlanta last week, and tested it for 2 days so they'd be assured, get all the bugs worked out. And it looks like Road Atlanta is a very good tested place for Sears Point.
Off of corner number 11, Ernie Irvin sees the checkered flag waving, and Ernie Irvin crosses the line and wins his 3rd race of 1994 and registers his 12th career win in his 186th start. Ernie Irvin from Modesto, California wins the Save Mart Supermarket 300 at Sears Point in Sonoma. We pick up on this best battle on the racetrack between Burton and Rudd. They just left turn 7. Here they come up through the S's.
Rudd, one of the best road racers in the business. His Ford sort of mangled a little bit today. Got involved with Mark Martin earlier in the race. But he continues to drive hard. Wants that other position. If he can get it, that'd be 4 points if he could pick it up. And a little bit of money as well.
Right now, Burton is in 14th, Ricky in 15th. How they look headed to you, Benny?
Looks like Rudd's going to try to outbrake him. No, not going to be able to do it. Burton moves over. Now breaks Rudd. Now Rudd's going to come on the inside. They're going to drag race towards you, Bob.
Oh, this is going to be a good finish. It is a drag race to the line. And, oh, Rudd, I think, got him by maybe a fender. Oh, that was a good battle. And Jerry is with Larry McReynolds.
Larry, that's what I call domination. What an outstanding day you guys had. Congratulations.
I'm telling you, that's great. You know, I know airtime's short, but there's 3 guys that I got to thank with all my heart that's not only helped this race team, but myself as Larry, and that's Bob Riley, Mike, and Jackie Laughlin. Man, what a great race car today, and they all played a big part in it. I want to thank the guys back at the engine shop. We come out here with a skeleton crew because they're home working on stuff for the Winston, and happy birthday, Linda.
Linda McReynolds, his wife, had a birthday on Friday. Her husband, she gave him up to come to Sears Point and win it out here for Ernie Irvin.
Ernie Irvin wins the Save Mart Supermarkets 300 at Sears Point Raceway, and the crowd salutes the champion. We'll be right back. Ernie Irvin is just about to arrive in victory lane as a result of his dominating performance here at Sears Point this afternoon.
What did he lead? All the laps but about 3 or 4, Bob?
Yeah, I think was all but 5 or 6. I'll check on that officially in a few minutes. But yeah, it was just total domination by Ernie Irvan. He led 67 out of the 74, Benny.
You ready? Coming out.
And now Ernie gets out of the car, and the crowd salutes him, and Dr. Jerry Punch is right there.
Had a big smile at Ernie. This crowd from not far from where he's from, Modesto, California. Ernie, congratulations.
Salinas, California.
Salinas, okay, I'm sorry. Modesto's a suburb of Salinas. Ernie keeps correcting me. Ernie, congratulations.
Thank you. I'll tell you what, this is America. I mean, you can come from California, go back east, go racing, and come back to California and win. So that's a neat thing. You know, I owe a lot of thanks to a lot of people, and you know, Robert and Larry and Bob Riley's probably one that's an unsung hero that helped build this car, and he's a road race expert, and maybe I can get me a job road racing somewhere, but Lee Morris is a big part of it, and Kim and Jordan aren't here today. We want to say hi to them, and Jordan, I'll be home in a little while. I'll play with you.
Ernie, some of the other crews, you said you were in a world all your own today. No one could touch you in class.
I tell you, you know, I've only had a car that's even close to this one, and that was the time I had to go to the back and come back to the front with the 4-car, and this car was even better than that, and it was pretty awesome all day. And you know, it was a brand new car. Larry and them did it, and like I said, Bob Riley had a big part in it, and it was the best car I've ever drove.
Now, you're from Salinas, California, but I'm told you've never seen the Golden Gate Bridge and been able to do any kind of relaxing out here. Can you do it now?
No, I got to get back home. You know, we got horses to take care of, and a lot of racing to go at the Winston Select, and looking forward to that, try to get some big money.
By the way, there's a young man waiting up on stage for you, little Richard Herron you met the other day. You told him to come share victory lane. They just put him up on stage in his wheelchair, smiling. He's in tears, waiting for you to come up and visit.
I told him, I said, if we make it to victory lane, you're coming with us. And he's, nah, you won't do that. I said, yeah, really, man. Come on in with us. And, you know, it just makes us realize that we're very fortunate to be able to walk and do everything we do. And he's not as fortunate, but today he's fortunate. He's in victory lane in a Winston Cup race.
And we're very fortunate to watch your performance today. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Ernie Irvan in victory lane, and they're going to celebrate here for a long time on the front stretch. Bob?
Ernie Irvan gives Ford another win in the 1994 NASCAR Winston Cup Series. We take a look at the manufacturers' points battle. They are tied. Chevrolet and Ford each with 75 and Pontiac at 40. We'll be back to wrap it up here in just a few moments, and then stay tuned for a wrap-up from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Stay with us. Here are the unofficial results of the Save Mart Supermarkets 300. Ernie Irvan wins the Unical bonus of $15,200 en route to his third victory of 1994. We take a look at the full field results, and Ned, down there in turn number 7, kind of a quiet day for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. So saw some good passes here, Bob. A little bit of slipping and sliding, but it was relatively quiet. A lot of action at other places on the racetrack, though.
And Benny, did you get enough to eat down there?
Oh, yeah, 2 big plates full. But, you know, Ricky Rudd and Mark Martin, the only 2 serious collisions down here, had several spinouts. But Mark Martin, Ricky Rudd, and Rudd, I think, probably suffered the most damage with that damage to the left front, which hurt the aerodynamics, also the brake ducts.
And, of course, the really big crash of the race involved John Krebs and Derek Cope. And for a while it looked pretty bad, but neither driver was injured, and that's the good news as we complete the full field rundown of the Save Mart Supermarkets 300 with Corelli and Krebs and Cope finishing in 42nd and 43rd. Now the top 10 in points, not much change. Irvan remains on top, Earnhardt second, Martin Schrader third and fourth, and Morgan Shepherd moves up to 5th again as Rusty Wallace drops down to 6th position. Lake Speed, Ricky Rudd, Kyle Petty, and Ted Musgrave complete the top 10 in NASCAR Winston Cup points.
I tell you what, that Ernie Irvan is making Earnhardt's job tough to win that 7th.
Our next NASCAR Winston Cup telecast will be on Saturday morning, July the 2nd at 11 o'clock Eastern Time. The Pepsi 400 live from Daytona International Speedway in Florida. Once again, our congratulations to Ernie Irvan, the winner of the Save Mart Supermarkets 300 here at Sears Point Raceway in California. We thank you for joining us here on behalf of Ned Jarrett, Benny Parsons, Dr. Jerry Punch, and John Kernan. This is Bob Jenkins thanking you for joining us. We'll be at Daytona in July 2nd. Be with us then. For now, so long, everyone.